Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me, as always, via Zoom is
Matthew the Spring Warrior, because I'm making my own Winter Soldier mock-off, so I don't want to get in trouble by Disney.
Oh, so you're the Spring Warrior?
It's Spring Warrior. It's it's not Captain America. It's Major Columbus and the Spring Warrior.
Major Columbus and the Spring Warrior.
Yes.
Sounds like a good band. Yeah. Come on down and see Major Columbus and the Spring Warrior at the Ohio State Fair. Wait, what?
yeah. Right next to the deep fried beer stand or something like that.
Or, turn left at the funnel cake stand, and you'll find Major Columbus and the Spring Warrior.
The first 10 people get a free deep fried, like something weird, like a deep fried, I can't think of a name, deep fried sea urchin or something, I don't know.
Yes,
that's
deep fried sea urchin.
That's another band name. And then follow them, deep fried sea urchin plays.
Yes. If you get to the pig barn, you've gone too far. But wait.
And the third and final act, the Space Needle.
Space Needle, Seattle Space Needle.
Yeah. A grunge cover band, but only does country music, as you say, or country style.
The Space Needle. Yep.
Yep. That's right.
All in all is all we all are. Jeremy spoke in class today. Okay. So Spoon Man, come together with your hands, Spoon Man.
Okay. Oh God.
So, yeah, I think I'm insane. So today on the show, we are talking about the final episode of season 1 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Final episode. I don't like that sound.
I know. The episode 6 is entitled "One World, One People." It was directed by Kerry Skoglund and written by Malcolm Spellman and Joseph Sawyer. So, what happens in this episode? Actually, first, I'm going to ask you, Matt, what is your initial reaction to this episode as well as the show overall?
With this episode, I was kind of initially somewhat let down from it, but then again, I give most shows a pass when it comes to finales because, a finale is really hard to write because you're literally ending a show. I mean, so it's like, to wrap everything up in a way that satisfies is no one really, has done it, as far as I know, in any show I've watched, has not really been able to really capture that moment, which demonstrates how really impossible it really is. So it's not like it ruined it for me. It's just like I was kind of like, it was okay. I tried to watch it for a second time, and I only got 20 minutes in. But the second time, I was like, okay, because like after I watched it for the first time, and kind of was somewhat disappointed. Watching it again, I already knew what to expect, so it was like, okay, like I kind of get what they're going for here, because I'm not really expecting anything different, And as far as the show goes, I mean, it's I really liked it. I've been going through a lot of the Captain America movies lately, and ironically, those were the movies of the MCU that I didn't really watch that much to begin with. I was more into like the Avenger films, and which Captain America is part of, and for whatever reason, I never really watched most of the Captain America ones, but now they're like my favorite ones. I've been watching Winter Soldier, Civil War, and because I'm usually not really into like action movie type things. I like with WandaVision, I like the whole just creepy aspect of it, the kind of sci-fi. Captain America movies are pretty much, for the most part, mostly action movies, but with a little bit of sci-fi mixed in, like with the whole Red Skull and stuff like that, going on. But like, I really grew to love this show just as I did with WandaVision. I'm sure I'll love Loki when that comes out in June, and maybe we can review that series too.
Yeah. We most likely will.
Cool.
I'm looking forward to that show. Because I like Loki a lot. Yeah, little news here too. Speaking of like the Captain America films, there's it's been announced that by the Hollywood Reporter that Captain America 4 is in the works with Falcon and the Winter Soldier showrunner Malcolm Spellman. So the guy who's ran this, Malcolm Spellman is picking up Captain America's shield once again. He will pen the script with Dallin Musson, a staff writer on the Disney Plus Marvel series.
Okay.
Yeah, they're developing a fourth installment of the Captain America film franchise for Marvel Studios. Spellman will co-write the script with Dallin Munson. No casting of the project are officially known, but Friday's episode offers plenty of roads for the feature to take up. Up until this point, Chris Evans has played Captain America via Steve Rogers' character, blah blah blah. But this basically, it's likely to feature. They're saying Anthony Mackie as Captain America. So,
yeah.
No director is attached, but it's probably unlikely that Steve Rogers character, the Steve Rogers character played by Chris Evans, will appear in this. So, which is good, and I don't want him to, honestly. No offense to him, I love Chris Evans, but his story's been told. So
it's finished. I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is Sam Wilson's story now. So don't.
Yeah. And he doesn't really need him as a mentor anymore. Mm-hmm. I mean, he wasn't really a mentor to begin with. He was more of a friend, but Sam kind of looked up to him a little bit because he kind of knew how old.
Yeah,
Steve really was.
Steve was like an older brother to him. So I mean, it's like
And
yeah,
I have a question really quick though about that really quick. So like in Endgame, he gives Sam the shield, as an old man and stuff like that because he stayed back in the past or whatever.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have affected the timeline though by him going back in the past and spending a life with Peggy, and wouldn't have kind of like
so? I don't know the exact answer to this, but if you look it up online, I know that the Russo brothers have explained it as to why it hasn't affected the timeline. Because basically what happens is he lived out his life with Peggy, but he still lived the life he lived before.
Okay.
So it's not like it negated all the shit he did in all the movies. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, I think I get it. All right. So, like,
so technically, during that time, there was probably 2 Steve Rogers on Earth.
Right, the one that's stuck in the ice, and then him from the future.
Yeah.
And then okay.
And then also like he probably was still alive, you know, as an older man during the times of Civil War and the Avengers movies and all that stuff, you know. So.
Okay, it makes sense. And the shield, was that an old shield brought back to the future, or was that just a whole new shield just made from whole cloth?
I think it's the old shield brought back from the future, but
gotcha. Okay.
I'm not 100% sure. But
So
because Captain America's had several shields throughout the years too. You know, Steve did.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So, yeah.
Tony Stark made him a new one, and then that one got mashed up by Thanos, and then okay. That makes sense. I was just thinking about that the other day. I'm like, wait a minute, he went and changed his life, so wouldn't that have kind of fucked up with the
Yeah, but it wouldn't have changed anything he did prior to that point where he went back in time. So
okay,
yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah, technically his timeline is still continuing, but it's continuing at a different time.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay. No, I mean, I can't explain it, but I understand it intuitively what you're saying. Yeah, okay.
So, anyways, what happens in this episode here, man? Oh, wait. First, actually, I asked some of our fans on our Facebook group what they thought of this. Got a couple responses here. Amber Dawn says, there was so much good stuff, I can almost overlook the heavy-handedness of much of the dialogue and the Swiss cheese plot of the power broker. Yeah. And Emmanuel Sutton says, good episode, I can't wait for Captain America 4. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't either.
Yep.
So, what happens in this episode here, Matt?
It just leaves off, or starts where it was left off in the last episode when the Flag Smashers broke into the conference where they're basically going to vote.
GRC conference, yeah.
Yeah, the GRC, they're going to vote, more than likely going to vote to, quote, repatriate, what was it, like 86 million people in the world? Something like that.
Yeah, a lot of people.
A really huge amount of people back to their, quote, home countries. And, of course, repatriate's just a churched up word to say that they're going to deport them, but they're using propaganda to make it sound like it's nicer than what it is. Oh, it's the repatriation, and everyone's going to be back to normal, and all this kind of stupid jazz or whatever. Well, not jazz is not stupid, but whatever. And the Flag Smashers break in because they kind of had a Hail Hydra moment where they said "One world, one people." One of the people that were in the building, security guard or something like that.
Yeah.
An inside man, and they put the whole place in lockdown. They got the police, SWAT teams, with their guns drawn, trying to figure out how they're going to handle the situation. Carly's got some hostages. They're they're planning all kinds of diversions. Pretty much they're pretty much trying to draw in as much media attention as possible in order to get their message out. And then we see Falcon flying around pretty soon, and then he bursts through the window of the building, and lo and behold, we see him wearing his cool Captain America outfit with wings.
Yes.
Still attached. So the Torres thing was kind of a mislead. But,
no, it's not, because in the comics he has wings as Captain America, and then Torres becomes Falcon.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he still has his Falcon wings, or no, new wings, and
which were from the Wakandans. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole suit's vibranium basically, and he's got his shield, and he's like, "Yeah, this is awesome." And then they ask him something like, "Who are you? Aren't you Falcon?" He says, "No, I'm Captain America." So he identifies himself as Captain America.
And then somebody's like, I thought he was on the moon.
Yeah, because they kept talking the whole conspiracy theory about Captain America being on, which again could actually be true. We don't know because we know Fury's somewhere in space. So
old Captain America could be up there. Who knows what happened after he gave Sam the shield?
It's very possible. So and they kind of get into because he's he was in the military and stuff for a while, so he kind of knows these tactics, and he's like no, like they're trying to do this, like you need to go this way or whatever, like they're planning a diversion or I'm not sure what he says, but like he knew what tactics they were using to try to cause as much confusion as possible. And that French dude came to fight. I forgot. Was it Botrack? Was his name Botrack or
Butt Crack? No. Bart. Batrock.
Batrock. That's what it was.
I'm just gonna call him Butt Crack. I don't know.
Yeah, call him Butt Crack though.
No.
He gets into a fight with him, and it's the thing I love about the show. Okay, I mean it's frustrating, but I also love it. Is that like Sam and Bucky get their asses kicked quite a lot by their enemies.
Yeah,
like they're not like these like super strong people that are always winning fights. Like, and because like old comic books used to be so black and white. The good guys were stronger, and the bad guys they always won. Things have gotten a lot more nuanced since that time. The good guys lose sometimes. Sometimes the bad guys are stronger. I mean, when Thanos initially won, destroyed half of all creation on every planet, so that was like a victory for him.
Yeah.
And so Batrock, whatever his name is, that's a good band name right there, Batrock. Right up there with Ratnip. They could probably play, shows together in there. Anyway,
oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Batrock. It's a band that only plays the Batman theme songs.
Yeah, just different versions of it. Or we're gonna play the reggae ska version. No, not the ska version.
No.
I hate the ska version, Dad.
No.
And yes, the guy has a son, and he takes his son like during his like visitation rights. He takes him to the bar where he plays his gigs. It's like, this is supposed to be your weekend with me. I don't want to see your stupid Bat Rock band play tonight. I'm hungry. As a teenager, he's being all. It's like, they got food here. I don't like bar food. I don't like peanuts. I'm allergic to peanuts. You know this if you spent enough time with me when I was growing up. And then the dad's like in the microphone, like, I'm sorry. I'm trying to make up for it now. Like, totally forgetting that there's like playing the gig right now.
He's like, Steve's a better dad to me than you are.
He's like, don't you talk to me about Steve. That's one of the rules. We don't talk about Steve. And then like the club manager is like, okay, time's up for Batrock. Oh shit, they didn't play a song. And then like he leaves with the son, and like they have like this heart-to-heart moment outside the club, and they're like, I'm sorry I wasn't there for you during the first 6 years of your life. I'm gonna try to be a better dad to you now. What do you say? Want to get some pizza or whatever? I don't know. And then they're like, I guess. And then like they go to the pizza shop or whatever. And then, like, they see, like, this, like, other father and son group or whatever. And then, like, it's, like, a similar type of situation. And, like, he realizes, though, that, like, his dad's nicer than the other dad is. He's like, well, at least you didn't really yell at me as much as that guy's yelling at his kid. Mind you, that the only reason my dad's yelling at his kid is because he found the kid stashed, like, a bunch of heroin in his bedroom. So he's actually having, like, a stern...
You should write this down, Matt.
But they don't know. Yeah, they don't know that. They just think the dad's being mean to his kid. But that's okay for the purposes of this relationship being built. So the context really doesn't matter. But just for the audience's concern, that dad is not being.
You should write the script for a movie. A movie called Batrock.
Yes. And then so they're like they eat their pizza, like they share their pizza, and they're like I love you, son. They're like, I love you, Dad, I guess, whatever, whatever, And then, they go home and they get hit by a bus and get killed. No, sorry.
So what happened in Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
I got fixated on the Batroc. Okay. I will write that down. Or not. We have it recorded, so I can just go by the transcription. Okay, so Falcon pretty much loses the fight. He just bails. He's like, I gotta finish this later. I'm not gonna win right away. So he throws the shield out the window and he flies down to catch it. Mid fall or whatever. Carly calls Bucky, I think, for some reason, and Bucky's trying to talk her down again or whatever.
Yeah, it was all just a misdirect too. She was calling him to basically keep him occupied while they started putting the senators and other people from the GRC. They started putting them into these armored trucks and locking them off with some kind of spider-looking lock device on the outside, which was kind of sweet-looking. I wish they would have explained that more.
Yeah.
But, so, while that's happening, though, we find out, that, Bucky called backup. Later on, we find that out.
Mm-hmm.
And, Sharon Carter shows up. She's got a mask on with this, that mask tech that was similar to what Black Widow used in, was it Civil War?
I don't remember actually.
Yeah, it was where she dressed up like a senator or something in that. Yeah, she. It's been used previously. It was also used a lot on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Which everybody should watch. It was such a good show.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. I just hate the people that hate that show.
Yeah.
I hate the haters.
Yep, haters, yep.
Yep. So, basically, Wilson is trying to stop the Flag Smashers' attack here. And like I said, he's got Barnes and Carter helping him, but also John Walker shows up to help as well with his cosplay shield. Yeah, his really crappy shield that he made in the end of the last episode.
Yeah, it's handmade. I'm surprised they let him keep the uniform. That's weird. And
yeah, me too.
But whatever.
Well, maybe they were just like, nobody else can fit this, so
Right.
I mean, it's like even when you work at a McDonald's or something, you usually have to return the uniform. But
right.
We find out. So Carter at one point is like fighting people, and she accidentally reveals that she is the power broker to Bartok. I mean Batroc, not Bartok. Bartok is the character from Anastasia. That was that little.
Wow.
Yeah. the little. What was he, like a bat or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Bartok the Bat, and he was voiced by Hank Azaria. Anyways, so. Yeah, so she ends up she kills Batroc while Wilson is attempting to reason with Morgenthau, who's there as well, and we have this big confrontation where Morgenthau is killed by Carter as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because she knows that Carter is the power broker, which was a misdirect that I didn't see coming at all. Did you ever see that coming, Matt?
I don't understand why they made it so obvious. I mean, maybe that's the point, because they always usually do a twist, so this is their version of the twist because people are expecting a twist.
But
so then that is the twist, is making us, oh, okay, we thought that was the case and that is the case, so that's the way to let us down, is by making it so obvious. I don't know. You have to ask the Bat Rock band members to, interpret that a little bit. But
yeah, I will. They're all in their.
They're pretty good at that stuff. Yeah,
they're all in their dollar store Batman outfits, playing their instruments on stage. Anyway, so
it's basically a Mexican standoff thing, because Bat Rock shot her, and then she shot him, and also shot. Sorry, Morgenthau shot her, didn't she?
Yeah, Carter was shot.
Okay, Morgan. Yeah, so Carly shot Sharon, but then Sharon shot Bat Rock, right? Okay,
yeah,
that what happened, and then so then Sam came in, and then Sam didn't want Carly to let it slip that so that she killed Carly, basically, right? And I'm trying to remember about that without.
Do you want to take a break, Matt, and then we can come back and finish the plot
Sure.
here? Okay, we'll be right back, folks. Sorry about that. Sure. We'll be right back.
What is Gen X? What is the silent generation? What do generations have in common? Hi, I'm Trish the Dish from the Gen X Voice podcast, and I invite you to listen to conversations I have with folks from different generations, backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences in an attempt to see what connects rather than divides us. Even though Gen X has been called slackers, Karens, or not mentioned at all in some cases, we are the bridge generation, so I feel compelled to do my part to destroy ageism by bringing all these voices together. And, as a bonus, each guest gets to answer some 80s questions at the end of each show. So download and listen to Gen X Voice today on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And let's see how much we have in common after all.
Hi, this is Catherine, host of a new fashion podcast, The Real Fashion School Dropout. Join me as I interview guests every week in the fashion and beauty space, and we gossip on all things fashion and beauty, and even get into some personal stories of their journey in the industry. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Hope to see you there.
All right, Matt. Marky got with Sharon. Sharon got Charisse. She was sharing Sharon's outlook on the topic of disease. Mikey had a facial scar, and Bobby was a racist. They were all in love with dying. They were doing it in Texas. I don't mind the sun sometimes. The images it shows. I can taste you on my lips and smell you in my clothes. Cinnamon and sugary and softly spoken lies. You never know just how you look through other people's eyes. You know?
Nice. I like that.
Every time we said Sharon, that popped in my head.
What is that from? What is that?
That is the song Pepper by the Butthole Surfers. Good band. Good. That guy's hilarious too, right? So, the dude from Butthole Surfers, the main guy. There was some documentary about I don't know what musician it was, but they were interviewing him when he's in the middle of a dentist appointment, and it's just like that's like such a power move right there. Like, yeah, you can go and interview me. You gotta do it at my dentist appointment though. And he's sitting there talking in between. The dentist is like trying to get inside of his mouth, every between
breaks of him talking about, I don't know, Rocky Erickson, or I'm not sure who he was talking about.
Yeah.
But
That's funny.
yeah.
So, anyways, back to the plot of Falcon and the Winter Soldier: One World, One People. So we have this like Mexican standoff sort of thing you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
What happens next?
So Carly ends up shooting Sharon. Sharon shoots Batrock. Sam comes in and he sees the situation. He thinks that Carly shot both of them or something like that. And he tries to reason with Carly one more time. Oh, by the way, so we'll get into that later because there's lots of stuff like how Zemo was saying that like she's become completely radicalized, so she's going to get more and more extreme in her tactics over time. And she literally was going to just kill the hostages, like, because they didn't serve a purpose anymore. Like, so she's just gone completely off the moral. She has no morality at this point, and even her own followers have started to recognize that. And so Sam didn't know that though at the time. And he's trying to reason with her one more time. Carly looks like she's gonna probably try to shoot him, which I don't really think she was going to. And Sharon shoots. God, it's a weird thing to say. Sharon shoots Carly.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear to God, like, the show's great, but like the scene is like the cheesiest. I mean, I've seen it a million times. And so she gets shot, and Sam scoops her up in his arms, and she's dying, and she's like, "I'm sorry." Like I've seen that. Like, whatever.
We have the
like,
scene where he flies down holding her.
Oh, the angel thing, literally. Cause
yeah,
like,
but it's very similar. There's a famous painting of Cain and Abel.
Okay.
After they fought, where one of them's holding where like I think Abel is holding Cain. Which one died in that? I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I read the Bible. But
Abel died. Well, it wasn't even a fight. Cain just straight up killed him.
Yeah, that's what it is. Cain is holding Abel in his arms like that in this famous painting. And
oh wow.
And there's also there's a few times in different comic books where this has been done too. There's like a scene where Supergirl is dead in Superman's arms like that. On the cover of comic books and stuff like that, and it's been done several times in different things. It's a trope, but it worked for this, I guess.
Yeah,
it was cheesy, but it worked.
Yeah,
it was Swiss cheesy. Well,
yeah,
full of
Swiss
holes.
cheesy,
full of holes.
full of holes. So yeah, like about that though, like so she was gonna kill the hostages earlier, and this is like when John Walker showed up again and basically was trying to fight her off, and he gets a few good hits in, but he still gets his ass kicked. The Flag Smashers basically just start doing a beat down on him, and Bucky has to then rescue him essentially. And then at one point, Carly actually tells him to light the car on fire to give Bucky someone to rescue, and so he's got to pull the door open with his metal arm. And at one point they're gonna knock the car off the that cliff, whatever, into the
it's like a
water,
scaffolding of a building that they're trying to knock it off of. Yeah.
And John Walker, he realizes, that he should do the right thing and save the people, not focus on his revenge, for Lamar's death.
Yeah.
And so, he's kind of like becoming more of like a hero-ish, if you will, person in this episode. Ish. Quite, but ish. And because he's still, so like I like the subversiveness. So like I know in the comic books he's supposed to be kind of like a right-wing, kind of nationalist kind of character, kind of. In this show though, it's a lot more complicated. So for one thing, his best friend was Lamar, black guy. His wife might be biracial, and like there's this line where Carly apologizes to him and says, she didn't mean to kill his friend, or she didn't kill his friend, but she didn't mean for him to die because she only doesn't want people to die who don't matter. And then John says, "Are you saying that Lamar's life didn't matter?" It almost sounds like black.
Yeah, he's like, he mattered to me. Yeah.
And so it's interesting.
Yeah, it's very
to have
black BLM sort of stuff. Yeah.
So like his character's not really black and white. Black and white. His character's not like just one in the show at least. I know in the comic books I think he's kind of like a Wayne, but in here it's not so much. It's not so much that like he's pretty much motivated by revenge. I know in the books it was his parents that were murdered, but
yeah, but this it's his best friend, and I mean he is kind of black and white, which is symbolic in the end of the show too, as well.
Oh right, we'll get to that later. Yeah.
But so there's like a big fight, and they the Flag Smashers are basically all the remaining serum enhanced Flag Smashers are caught by Barnes and Walker at that point, and then sent to the raft.
Mm-hmm.
But while they're being sent there, before they get there, DeFontaine. Oh wait, no, sorry, not that. That's later on. Sorry. Okay, no. Before they get there, Zemo's butler kills them. He blows them up.
Yeah, because one of the people was a Flag Smasher, an inside person said, "One world, one people."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh yeah, they're gonna get us out," and then
Yeah. But yeah, the old man blows him up, and then we see like Zemo, in his cell on the raft,
yeah,
kind of happy with what's going on, sort of thing.
Right.
They then we have a scene where we see Val DeFontaine, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, from who we first saw in the previous episode. She gives Walker a brand new uniform. This is actually, before this we have this amazing speech by Sam.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that. I mean, I didn't forget about it because it's the best part of the whole episode. But I highly recommend reading the transcripts of that speech to people. It's just so amazing because he's saying things like, you have to stop calling them terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
Your peacekeeping troops carrying weapons are forcing millions of people into settlements around the world, right? What do you think those people are going to call you? These labels, terrorist, refugee, thug, they're often used to get around the question of why. So, that's the thing is we get this problem where we label people, and the best part of it is the best part is where he says he talks to them and he says you can move 1 million people with a phone call. The question is, who's in the room with you when you're making those decisions? Is it people you're going to impact, or is it just more people like you? Which is a great question, which I think is very topical about the world, because we have these people that are supposed to represent us in Congress and in the White House and all these other things that don't really seem to give a shit about the actual little people. We have people running businesses, like corporations like Amazon and Walmart and other companies, in their fancy offices, deciding what the workers are doing at the warehouses or the stores. And they don't know what the fuck these people need. You need to have people in those offices that aren't corrupted, that may have worked in those positions in the past. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
a lot of times the problem is you'll get people, they'll make a show of it. They'll be like, oh, you know, we've got this guy who used to work at a store. He's now on our board.
Right.
But he's been corrupted by the board just as much as anybody else, so he just becomes the same thing.
Yeah.
What you got to do is actually invite in people and have town hall meetings and listen to the people and not just ignore them and do what you need to do, you know, and then think, oh, we're going to make people happy if we give them pizza or donuts one day at work, you know. Anyways, so I'm not talking about anything personal here.
It's like that.
Sorry.
Yeah, there's an Onion article that says like workplace rebellion ended by a free pizza party or something like that. It's like,
yeah,
or no, was that workplace rebellion quelled by a free pizza party or something like that? Like,
yeah. So, but the basic thing is you've got to. He points out the fact that the little bit of time that they were worried about their lives is what these people that they're trying to control go through every fucking day. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
You know, that little bit of worry you had while you were in those armored cars is the same kind of worry that these people have every day that they wake up.
Yeah.
You know, it's, I don't know. People just don't think about that.
Especially those people.
Yeah.
Because we're so privileged and just separated from reality. I mean, they just, you know, talk glibly about, you know, deporting 86 million people. And they're like, you know, it's more complex than that. And it's like, that's the other thing I don't like. So, like, we've gone through weird phases in our culture, and one of those phases for a long time was, you know, everything's black and white and stuff like that. And now, and there's no nuance. But now, and I've picked up on this. I don't know if I'm explaining it well, but probably not. But, like, I've noticed that, like, there's people now that will use nuance and complexity in order to deflect from talking about things.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
So they'll say,
exactly.
Like, the situation's complex, or there's nuance, but it's really their way of being black and white by saying they want to be nuanced. So they're just taking a different tactic.
It's like I've experienced this in like workplaces that I've been in where people have an issue and the people won't say anything about it because they're like, oh, it's too complicated. Nothing will ever change. You know, nobody's going to listen to me.
Right.
But the thing is if nobody speaks up, nothing will change. And
yeah, exactly.
And but that's exactly how they want you to be. They want you to think everything's so complicated that nothing's going to change. So you'll be afraid to speak up about anything, whether it be in a country or a organization or your workplace or whatever it is. The people in charge just want you to think that everything is so complicated,
right,
and nuanced that it's not that and convoluted and everything that you're not going to speak up. You're just going to realize, well, that's the way it has always been, so it's going to continue being that way.
Right, because like one of the things the guy said to Sam was, "Oh well, you know, what we got to do about the people, you know, who came back and, you know, other people are living in their homes now. You know, what do we do with them?" Like basically he's taking this like either or approach. Like, we can only help the people who came back, or we can only help the people that we're going to deport. We can't help both at the same time. It's that whole scarcity mindset and bullshit. There's not enough to go around.
It's like the thing where people are like, where people will be like, well, you know, we should help out the veterans before we ever help out any refugees.
You could do.
You can do both. Exactly.
You don't need to. You ever heard that whole idea? Like, you know, you don't have to put everything, you know, all of your eggs in one basket. Like, you know, you could donate to an animal charity at the same time as donating to the Wounded Warrior Project.
Yeah.
It just means that you might have to put a little less money into each project instead of going all in on one, but that's okay. I mean, it's, I support the Wounded Warrior Project. I mean, I'm not really big on the whole military industrial complex, but at the same time, I don't like the idea of soldiers coming back with PTSD and injuries and just like being left, out in the streets or anything like that. So,
yeah, but make sure you look into any of these charities, anybody that you're donating to, find out the history of them before you donate, because unfortunately, the same corruption that exists within within government also it exists within charities. So
yes, it does.
Sometimes even more so. So go to there's different websites online you can check out before you donate to charities, because I know some Wounded Warrior type projects, like maybe the Wounded Warrior Project, don't really help Wounded Warriors as much as they're supposed to. So
okay.
I'm not saying that to you specifically, Matt, but I know what you mean. But the idea that helping out Wounded Warriors, you can help them out, or you can help out animals. You can do both,
Right. Yeah.
And I understand that, and I'm just saying that you might want to, whether it's an animal charity, whether it's a cancer charity, or whether it's whatever it is, look into it before you donate too, because there's corruption everywhere. Sadly, because sometimes, like, you'll donate to a charity and most of your money just goes to pay the president of that charity.
Right.
And then you're like, okay, what's, how are they curing that disease or helping those animals, or how are they, whatever. It's like they're not really doing anything. They're just, most and a lot of times the money goes into promotion of the charity.
Right, so it's self-serving. Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to do more commercials for this to pay for more commercials for this to pay for more commercials for this to more commercials for this. Okay.
And also look into it. I mean, I think a lot of times, sure, if you're going to be buying we're going off on a complete tangent here, but but if you're going to be buying a product, how sometimes they'll have a thing on there. It's like, a proceed of the money that you pay for this is going to go to this charity. Sometimes it's better, if you weren't going to buy that product before, don't necessarily just buy that product because they're going to be donating to a charity.
Yeah.
Maybe just donate to that charity.
Yeah.
If you were already going to buy that box of crackers or whatever, go ahead and buy it, but don't make your decision, because that's not really, because usually it'll say a percentage of this is going to it. And so it's going to be like, you pay $4 for that box of crackers, and, 40 cents might go to the charity at the most, so it's not like you're really, but if you actually took $4 and donated it to that charity, you're going to do more work, more help. So,
yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's it's a wild world, like Cat Stevens would say. It truly is. And but yeah, back to that speech though. I mean, that was a great speech.
Yeah.
At near the end.
I think it's one of the best things I've seen on television in years. So it made me cry when I watched it.
Yeah, it's good.
So anyways, back to the plot. We see DeFontaine gives Walker a new uniform and a new code name, U.S. Agent.
Yeah.
And speaking of black and white, those are the only colors in the uniform. Yeah.
Yep. It's a whole new uniform, which is interesting because I know it's U.S. Agent, and that's what it looks like. But also, wasn't Lamar's outfit kind of like that a little bit?
A little bit, but his was kind of his was kind of inspired by the Bucky in the comics and stuff too.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So at the end, Barnes goes and makes amends with everyone he hurt or enabled as the Winter Soldier. We see a scene where he goes and makes amends with the old Asian guy that he killed the son of that we met in the first episode. I wish I could remember the character's name, but I can't off the top of my head.
It's Yori.
Yori. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, he makes amends with Yori, and And then we see, while the speech was going on too, it was cool. They cut away to different things, and we see Torres watching it, and we also see Isaiah Bradley watching it, and looking proud, because during the point where he's just like, I'm a black man wearing the stars and stripes. I'm not blonde-haired, blue-eyed, Don't you think I think about this, every time I pick up that shield, so.
Right.
Yeah, so Wilson ends up having a memorial dedicated to Bradley, added to the Captain America Museum. So he goes and towards the end there, he visits Bradley and his grandson, and tells them to clean up and come, and he has something to show them, and he shows them that, so they'll never be forgotten, And then we have a mid-credits scene. What happens in that, Matt?
So they had like two. Didn't they have two kind of mid? Yeah, I think they had because they had the John Walker one with the U.S. agent, and then and oh, by the way, too. So like he left like a note to his therapist, basically with the book with all of his list of names,
all crossed off.
Yeah, which I don't know if that implied that he's not going to try to be part of it anymore because he's not coming to his therapy appointments anymore. I don't know what that implies, but because that's a condition for his pardon is that he has to have regular therapy appointments. So I'm not sure what that's gonna.
Well, maybe if she clears him, it'll be okay.
Right, we don't know, but so yeah, like he ends up going back to Louisiana and having like a cookout with Sam and the neighborhood family and stuff like that. And I have a feeling that him and Sarah might become an item at some point. I don't know. Maybe we'll see, but it'd be kind of weird because Sam's his friend. I don't know.
Yeah. And
but so the mid-credit scene is Sharon is going to get a full pardon, for basically being characterized as being a villain, even though she actually is one. But they think that they mistreated her and made her an outcast. So she's like, we're restoring your, your great name, family name, the Carter name or whatever. And she's like, thank you so much. And I, intend to, live up to my aunt's name or whatever type. I don't know what she said. Yeah. But then like, she turns around and walks, and then she's got this deviant smile on her face. Then she picks up her phone and basically says, who cares if we don't have the super serum soldier? We got access to military grade weapons, basically like just like the perfect gig now. Like she's able
to sell government secrets and stuff like that. And everything, yeah.
And then it kind of ends like that, which is like, I'm like, fuck you. Like, like you totally ruining your family's name here, but whatever. So I saw a video by, was it Screen Crush, where he was wondering if she's been a power broker the whole time, like as far as back as Winter Soldier. So I don't know.
It's hard to say. I mean, I have a feeling she might not even be Sharon Carter.
Oh, you don't think it's actually
because
her?
They're setting up a Secret Wars TV series with Sam Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn reprising their characters from Captain Marvel. And,
okay.
In the Secret Wars in the comics, because I mean, in Captain Marvel, I don't know. We'll talk more about this in a minute. Do you want to take a break, Matt? Because
yeah, sure.
I mean, sorry, folks, I'm going to keep you in suspense here, but we're going to take we need to take a break here. It's getting kind of late in the episode, and then we'll talk about some speculation and some trivia and stuff here. We'll be right back.
It's the Ninja from the Ask the Angry Ninja Show saying, come listen to the show. We got the Ninja Wife to give you your movie reviews. We got the Conscript to give you the Ninja News. And we got the Battle to talk about your sports. And as always, it is the Ask the Angry Ninja Show. So ask me a question. We'll give you the ninja knowledge you need for your ninja life. Search for us anywhere you get your podcast from. Just search for the Ask the Angry Ninja Show and enjoy the show.
And we are back. Hope you enjoyed those ads. Anyways, as we were talking before, okay, so Sharon. This is a little speculation we can do before I read some trivia here. The Secret Wars are coming up. And in the comics, the Secret Wars was about how a lot of people in the MCU over the years were actually Skrulls in disguise. In Captain Marvel, Skrulls ended up being good guys and not the bad guys, and the Kree ended up being the bad guys and not the good guys.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean that all the Skrull are good guys. So my theory is that maybe she's a Skrull in disguise.
Okay.
Or she's being manipulated by somebody else. And is brainwashed, or she's just a bitch, so who knows,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, well, because that one episode on WandaVision, it turned out that there was a Skrull that was saying, to Monica Rambeau, someone wants to talk to you or whatever, and it turned out that person was a Skrull.
Yeah.
And I know in Captain Marvel, the main Skrull, I forgot his character's name, the one that was
the one that Ben Mendelsohn played. I can't remember his character's name either.
Yeah, I can't remember. He basically said that, he's done terrible things during this war with the Kree as well. So it's I could depict, maybe not all the Skrull are just innocent victims, stuff like that kind of. So it could be. I mean, it could be different factions. Like the Kree had different factions too.
Yeah, and it's hard to imagine that a whole race of people are all good. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm saying,
yeah.
Just even looking at our real planet, not all, there isn't one race of people that are all good people.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Contrary to what white supremacists want to think. Anyways, so
right. Right. Yep.
So,
Tucker Carlson.
Yeah. So, anyways, any other speculation for what's happening in the future of the MCU with some of these characters?
Well, I don't know. Is this show going directly in to Captain America 4, or are they going to have another season of this show as well?
That's still up in the air. And if they do have another season of the show, it'd technically be a new show because it would have to be called Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Right. Well, that's right. That's what it says at the very end too.
Yeah.
It means the name. Yeah. Yeah, Captain America, and yeah, okay. So I don't know. I hope Bucky would still be involved somehow.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be in some other things. I mean, it's like my biggest disappointment of the whole thing is Carly. I don't like the fact that she died.
I figured it was going to happen. I didn't like it either.
I knew it was going to happen, but I don't think that. I think due to COVID restrictions on some things, because they abandoned a whole storyline about a pandemic that was actually written into the story before the pandemic happened. So that had a lot to do with. There was more scenes with Mama Danya and all these different things that we didn't get to see that they actually filmed. So. Because that was what she died of in the actual original script, but then they changed it to tuberculosis.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot I think they could have done more to help us. I mean, we did sympathize with them, but help us understand more about what the Flag Smashers mission was, I mean, we knew the mission, but you know what I mean, more to give more background on some of the characters, and and I mean, I did think it was interesting too, within that speech too, where it's they've got to realize that this teenage girl almost destroyed them, and if they don't start listening to people, there's going to be a 2.0, and it's going to be worse, so.
Yeah, more organized, probably more violent.
Yeah.
So,
Anyways, that's all I had on speculation. Do you want me to read some trivia here, Matt?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so this is from the Internet Movie Database. When Bucky tells Carly all he's ever tried to do was fight for something bigger than himself and failed twice, he is referring to World War II and Captain America the First Avenger, and fighting to save Earth in Avengers Infinity War.
I figured that's what he meant. Yeah, okay.
When Sharon Carter shows up at the GRC siege, she is wearing an electronic face mask. This kind of mask was used by Black Widow and Captain America the Winter Soldier. But they became a major story arc in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. television series, which everybody should watch. Anyway, so the world leader who thought Captain America was on the moon is a callback to the first episode when Torres mentions that the internet theory that Captain America is living in a secret base on the moon. The final scene with John Walker, who has received his U.S. agent costume, has the final line, "I'm back." That mirrors the cover of Captain America Volume 1, number 354, which features Walker in his costume debut as U.S. agent saying the line in costume while punching the comic's title as Captain America in the traditional masthead picture in the left-hand corner flinches. Sam Wilson's Captain America suit is a gift from the Wakandans that he had received at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier episode Truth, and it combines aspects of several of Steve Rogers' Captain America suits, including the combat fatigue pants from the World War II suit from Captain America First Avenger. The bright stripes are like Steve's suit in the Avengers, and the stars and striped in the center are modeled after the blue and white suit Steve wore in Captain America the Winter Soldier. The suit is modeled very closely after Sam's Captain America suit from the comics. Sam's new wings can deflect a helicopter, which means that Shuri must have made him a suit of vibranium. Yeah, the thing is, too, like, on his front where the star is, the logo, like, instead of straight lines coming to the star, they go down like feathers.
Oh, cool.
Like wings, I mean. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. In the scene where John Walker decides to help people instead of going for revenge, his theme switches from a minor key to a major key to give it a more heroic sound. This symbolizes Walker embracing his more heroic role. Yeah. So Sam's new suit is also apparently capable of supersonic flight. He was able to fly from the coast of Louisiana to New York City before the GRC hostage crisis had developed much further. At Mach 2, it would have taken him nearly an hour to cover the 1,300-mile distance.
Wow.
Yeah. The shot of Sam carrying Carly's body is heavily resembles the image of Superman carrying the corpse of Supergirl, which I pointed out earlier on the cover of the comic Crisis on Infinite Earths by DC Comics. So yeah, which has been recreated in various media over the years, and it also is very similar to that Cain and Abel painting. So yeah, which probably inspired the Crisis cover as well. So, anyways, any other thoughts here, Matt, before we wrap this up?
No, I think that's all.
Okay. Well, folks, be sure to go off and give us a 5-star review there on the good old Apple Podcasts.
Because we are 5-star men. Okay?
Yes, we are. I'm a 5-star general. Wait.
And I'm a 5-star... I'm 5-star major... what was the name? Major and
Major Columbus. Major Columbus and
The Spring Warrior, yes.
And the Spring Warrior. Yes. You are Major Columbus and I'm the Spring Warrior. So, or maybe you are the other way around. Anyways, whatever it is. So make sure you do that. Check out our Patreon if you want to help us out. People are asking sometimes how they can help the show. That's a good way to do it. You can also go to our TeePublic and buy some cool merchandise, and help us out. We'd really, really appreciate it, so we're not doing this for free. And we're able to help pay for our equipment that we bought. Anyways, make sure you go out there and get vaccinated if you can. Everybody, every adult should be able to now in the United States. So if you're listening to this in the United States, go get a vaccine. There's no microchips or chocolate chips or potato chips or poker chips or anything in them. Just letting you know. So make sure you're not afraid of that. Also, wear a mask. Wear a condom. Be kind. Rewind. And don't litter. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.
Everybody should definitely come to Baltimore.
We have a way of speaking to each other through food.
It's really renewed, for me, my love of what I do.
It's gonna take something far stronger than a pandemic to defeat us.
All of these businesses are taking precautions to make sure that everyone is safe. We're ready.
See what we've got going on. Plan your visit at baltimore.org.